Today I want to get started on growing plants for profit. Now, there's kind of two camps, I think. There's the, I've got some planted tanks, I'm growing plants, I have to trim them and I end up throwing them away camp. And then there is the, I want to make this a job, or I want to make extra income and it needs to be actually like profitable. You've got a stem plant, it's growing tall, you're gonna clip it down to about 6 inches or so, and you've got these stem plants and you want to bring me like a bag, look at all this stuff, or a bucket, and be like, hey, I have plants, you sell plants, you want these, right? It's not that we don't want them, it's the work that goes into it, right? If you hand a bucket full of stem plants, I'd have to have an employee kind of count them, maybe bunch them up, maybe plant them, cut them to the right length, like do things, and they'd have to be algae free, of course. That's the majority of the work. If you're looking to supplement your hobby, you need to be supplying something that's going to save work. That might be pre-bunching them. I've had customers do that. 4 or 5 stems, let's say, for a stem plant, and they're 5 inch, 6 inch long. They'll bundle them up, they'll get them all ready, they'll bring them in, we'll buy them. And for a stem plant, in the industry, they're known as buy and die, which means your goal is to bring them in and sell them before they die in your tanks. When a hobbyist like yourself buys them and you take them home, you're going to take them out of the bundle and you're going to plant them. They'll live. But as a store, we are not going to do that. And so that's where they're going to die on us. And so we rely on selling them quick so that the work portion is not at the store. A potted plant costs at least 10 times more than a non-potted plant. So if you got the same rotala in a bunch and you got it in a pot, the pot will be 10 times more expensive. So in a farm setting, typically you'd have all these plants growing up out of the water. You just grab them, you cut, you put the rubber band or the weight or the piece of bread tie on it, and you put it in the bucket. And you just keep making that move over and over again. With the pot, you would need to get those 5 stems, you cut them, then you got to open up rock wool, you got to lay the stems in there, and you kind of lay them in a row. And then you might put a little bit of fertilizer in there, close it back up, put it in the pot, and then set it down nicely into a tray. And then typically they also grow them a little bit so you get some plant roots. If you have a local store and they're like, nah, we don't want that, try convincing them to do a grab bag. So what we do is we take a kind of a smaller size fish bag. We'll take like a handful of plants that people bring in, you throw it in there, we sell it for $5.49, and we buy them for like $2.50. Mostly because we got to do all the bagging and you don't sell them all. So if someone brings in like a 5-gallon bucket full of plant trimmings and we make a bunch of bags up and it's Friday, we might still have some left by Monday, in which case they sat too long and we got to throw out the rest. So it's kind of a time sensitive thing. You bring them in on a Tuesday, like we can't move them that fast. So that's one of the biggest things, is what day can you bring them in? Fish and plants and that kind of stuff, they typically come in earlier in the week so you can get them all put away, get ready for the selling days. But hopefully you have a schedule that allows you to work with the store and bring them in on, say, like a Tuesday or something like that. Now the next level, I would say, is like the Aquabid seller, the Craigslist seller, the Facebook seller, all that kind of stuff, where you're gonna put some ads up online and here's my live arrival guarantees and that kind of stuff. The cool part about that is there's a lot more buyers, so you're not limited to what the store sells. Like if the store says, we love Java Moss but we don't like this plant, no matter how much you grow of that plant, if they're not buying it, you're not really making much. Now online you can unload almost any plant, but prices on a lot of stuff tend to be cheaper because there's a lot of supply and the fixed kind of amount of demand. You'll get a little bit less money, but you can typically move everything, and that model doesn't have to have the right day off. You could ship them out on a Saturday, you could ship them after work, you could drop them off on the way to work, you know, so there's a lot more options there that work for a lot of people. You become the salesman all of a sudden, when before you were just a supplier. And then the store used their surroundings, their staff, and all that to make the recommendations and sell. Now, when you go online, you become the support staff as well. So this plant's not doing so well. What should I do? How much light does it need? Does it need CO2? Does it need all these things? And you kind of need to make a reputation for yourself, because a lot of plants that get sold, whether they're in a store or online or anything like that, could be infested with algae or kind of just generally unhealthy. You know, so you got to be really clear what you're selling and marketing it as such, and then making sure you keep up with that. Like us personally, we don't guarantee to be algae free or snail free, because at the level we're at, it would be impossible to guarantee it. It's highly unlikely we're going to send anything that is horribly algae infested, horribly snail infested, or something like that. Or duckweed. Duckweed's another thing, or duckweed infestation. At the amount of plants we're touching, it's impossible to keep a facility free of that. And so you as a hobbyist, you could, but you really, really got to make sure that you are free of that. Otherwise, when you ship out, 1 or 2 customers get a bad experience, kind of ruins your reputation. So what kind of grower are you going to be? And this applies to both the hobbyist level, the professional level, anything in between. So you might be able to make a sizable portion of money if you can guess what people want with much smaller space. Whereas like Java Moss, the price is pretty low on it, and so you would have to make a whole ton of it and be selling it to a lot of people, but there's a ton of buyers. So that is one of the markets I recommend everyone gets into. If you're trying to grow plants at a profit, make Java Moss, because no farm grows Java Moss underwater. They all grow it immersed, so that's up above water where it can use the CO2 out of the air, and it's pretty dry and crispy. And then when they sell it to a store like me, we put it underwater and it dies back. So I might buy a pound of it, and by the time it converts, about 6 weeks later, I have maybe 1 or 2 portions to sell at $9.99. That is the #1 most requested plant. From there, then you need to talk either to your store that you're going to sell to, or you got to really size up the market and go, what is it that I'm good at growing that people want to buy? You're going to be hunting, pecking your way through this. Not as many people want to buy it, / it doesn't sell for as much. And that's kind of to be expected, because more people have excess in their tanks, are giving it away. It's kind of, a no-brainer. Whereas something that grows really, really, really slow, like maybe a Nubius Nana Petite, people aren't exactly giving away 5-gallon buckets every week full of that stuff, right? So there's more of a demand for it. Now, how cool something looks matters. Utility on, like mosses, for instance, we can sell it to breeders. We can sell it to aquascapers. Establishing what you think is going to work in that high-end market, you kind of got to follow the trends and know, like, okay, this marble Danubius, who's working on it? Are the big farms working on it? I got another 8 months. I could probably sell it before it hits mainstream, and each month it's going to go down by $10. And so I should probably stop producing in the next 3 or 4 months, sell out what I have. Meanwhile, knowing what am I going to replace that with? Maybe it's this next rare type abuse. Maybe it's something else. Like, you're constantly on the hunt, and so almost half your work, so you save it in labor and space because you're not producing as much, is being spent on research. What's the next big thing? Stores want to buy what they want to buy when they want to buy it. Decide what kind of grower you are, and then grow a few species of plants that you can grow really well, and try to find the correct buyers.
We hope you enjoyed this video. We actually picked another one that we thought you might like, so click on it right here.